name's Luca. I'm going to be waking up at 5 a.m. for a week to review the book, The 5 a.m. Club.
As you may or may not understand by now, I'm going to be waking up at 5 a.m. for a week. Now, why would someone, especially a teenager, wake up at 5 a.m. while on holiday? Basically, the answer is productivity. Because I'm on holiday, it's, less scheduled. So if I wake up earlier, I can get more done in these more quiet hours. I first read the 5 a.m. Club in May when I was still in sixth form, and I quickly started waking up at 5 a.m. But as my days got a bit less structured because exams finished, the problem was that I would always go to sleep late and I stopped waking up at 5 a.m, usually 6 or 7, but now I really want to get back into it. I stopped because sleep is very important. Getting 7 or 8 hours really helps peak performance and recovery. The trick, I think, is to go to sleep early and get used to that. So I get my 7 or 8 hours and I still wake up early to be productive. No more scrolling late at night and no more late night coffees.
Locked again. Now you might be wondering, Luca, why are you being so silly and going up and down flights of stairs? That's a bit, retarded. Usually I run, right? But the problem is I'm in Brazil, and if I run around with a phone at 5 a.m, I'm going to get shot and mugged, probably. If I were in the land of the Queen and tea, England, where I normally live, this wouldn't be a problem. Whatever, you have to improvise, adapt and overcome, and going up 16 flights of stairs is pretty good cardio.
Furthermore, on days I don't really get enough sleep, I think an afternoon nap is super great. Basically because a lot of really successful people take afternoon naps. Like Winston Churchill was a big proponent of that shit. So I think I'm gonna try some of those out too. From what I read about naps, 15 minutes is the sweet spot. Any longer and you just wake up groggy because you are actually interrupting REM sleep. Robin Sharma's book inspired me, and I figured a 2-in-1 challenge video and book review video would be pretty cool and unique. So, here you go. I'll be waking up at 5 a.m. for 5 days, and then seeing if I want to continue doing this or something similar to this, and reviewing The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. Now you might be wondering what I'm up to. Well, to know that, we need to explore one of the first concepts the book goes into. That's the 20-20-20 principle. Now, this is a principle used to build a morning routine. As the book put it, it's not rising early that makes this regime so powerful. It's what you do over the 60 minutes after you wake up that makes the 5 a.m. Club so game-changing. In the first 20 minutes, you should move. In the second 20 minutes, you should grow. And in the third 20 minutes, you should reflect. Wait, that's wrong. Switch 2 and 3. In the first 20 minutes, you should move. In the second 20 minutes, you should reflect. And in the third 20 minutes, you should grow. This image explains it much more succinctly than I could, so here you go. I'm going down and up my stairs and then doing yoga for movement. I'm gratitude journaling and meditating for reflection, and I'm reviewing my goals for growth. That's the morning routine I've sort of had when I wasn't on holiday, but instead of going up and down stairs, I'd go running. But I can't really do that now. So, improvise, adapt, overcome, as they say. Another thing what I like about waking up early is that it makes it really easy to do deep work. If you don't know what deep work is, you need to read the book Deep Work by Cal Newport. It's a gem. Maybe there'll be a new video on that soon, who knows. Now, let's talk about this writing style of the book. It really nourishes the spirit and the heart, not only the mind. It's one of those books that I find a real joy to read. It's a non-fiction book that tells an enchanting story which is used to demonstrate crucial life concepts to the reader. It's one of those books that I think you should keep near and reread once every year or every other year throughout life. Basically because of how not only useful, but how full of whimsy it is, and how much it nourishes you spiritually, if that makes sense. Now, there's a whole lot of concepts covered, so instead of listing them all out, which will bore you, I'm just going to flash this on the screen, which gives you a kind of like summary of it. And if you want to look more into them, well, you can read the book. Link in the description. Link in the description, huh? Now for a general summary of the plot. We followed two very relatable struggling individuals, an entrepreneur and an artist, who I don't think are named throughout the book, as they go around their world in their journey with Riley Stone, the eccentric billionaire and part-time homeless man. He teaches them how to own their morning and elevate their life. Now, this writing style isn't all sunshines and daisies. It is unconcise. It's the opposite of concise. If you want a manual, like a specific manual on how to wake up early, this isn't it. You can YouTube or Google that. If you want something concise, you're going to find this long-winded, tedious, cheesy, and you're really going to learn to loathe the words groovy or gnarly, because they use a lot in the book. Groovy and gnarly, bro. It's fucking hilarious in my opinion, but you know, it's not for everyone. So what you see me doing right now is gratitude journaling. What that is you write 5 things you're grateful for, and it helps your brain chemistry apparently. I'm also planning out my day. Well, I do that last night actually, but I'm looking at the plan for the day and visualizing it, and looking at the more long-term goals, mainly the weekly and the monthly ones.
Day 1 of the 5 a.m. challenge. It is 12 p.m. Done my morning routine. Went pretty good. I liked it. It was pretty peaceful. I got everything done. I went to the gym after my routine, and then I got some deep work done. Played a bit with my sister, done a bit of reading. All in all, pretty good so far. It's about lunchtime, so I'm going to do some eating. After that, I'm going to take a nap, because I am quite tired, because I only slept about 5.5 hours, something silly like that. So, but today, I get to sleep early, and I'll get 8, and I probably won't even need a nap tomorrow, so that'll be good. It's 5:02. Let's get it done.
Now we're starting day 2. You see me doing my yoga, which I'm not very good at, but you know, we'll start somewhere I suppose. And I'm going to talk to you about why the book says we should wake up at 5 a.m. So fundamentally, the hours that you spend at night usually aren't that productive. You watch Netflix, whatever, do whatever the fuck, it just ain't it, chief. If you can shift those hours in the morning and do productive things instead, that's just more useful hours in the day for you, right? Furthermore, your morning is where you have most energy, most people. If you look at your daily energy pattern, there's a word for it, but I forgot it, so fuck it. If you look at the graph of that, which I'll put on the screen, it's much more active during the morning when you wake up, around 9ish. Now most people spend that time rushed going to school or to work or with family obligations, whatever. That's dumb. The morning should be spent, you know, doing productive shit. Now obviously that's inevitable, they have to do shit like going to work or whatever, until you get like financially independent. But if you wake up early, you can actually use your hours for you doing the things that are most important to you, that you value, that you think are important, that help you grow, and not like rushing around in traffic and shit. And you sacrifice that time at night, which isn't really used that productive anyway. Again, the door was locked today for some reason. I wanted to do yoga by the pool and get some nice cinematic sunrise shots and all that shit, but that just wasn't happening. So yeah, fuck it, you get yoga in the living room, and I'm gonna go do some journaling again, the same shit. Like the book does say this really cool quote that I don't remember exactly, but it goes something like, top performers know that what you do every day consistently matters way more than what you do once in a while. which is a thing about moderation of, shit, temperance, that's it. But it's also about consistency. So yeah, my morning routine's pretty fucking boring and consistent, but it works and I like doing it consistently. That's the value of it.
It is 6:40. Motherfucker, man. I woke up at 5. The next thing you know, I just laid in bed for an entire hour, bro. I was fucking exhausted. What I did learn, though, is that you should never get back in bed. Because if you do, that's it. You're done. It's over. If you lay down, getting up is a difficult task. We try again tomorrow.
So day 3 didn't really go too well. Alas, what can you do? I still did my morning routine, just a bit later and a bit more people-filled, which is damn annoying. But alas, a blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it. It's Marcus Aurelius, man. Failure is to be expected, don't get discouraged. Shit happens. This is a nice little segue into the neuroscience of success that the book talks about. I think anyone who's read a lot of self-improvement type books will get this general message from all of them, is that we aren't just a singular brain that's working. There's more. Brain is loads of parts. Mainly we have what the book calls the primitive brain, mainly the amygdala, and the mastery brain, so the prefrontal cortex, the high bit. Now the primitive brain, if you've read Can't Hurt Me with David Goggins, it's kind of like the inner bitch of the governor. It wants comfort and it wants status quo and it wants you to stay in the comfort zone and it will tell you to stop pushing. And even if you know about it, part of you will think while you're pushing, maybe this one time I should stop stressing myself. That's its job. The mastery brain, the higher self if it were, goes for self-actualization and getting better. It's important for you to know that whenever you're hesitating or shit, that isn't really you. That's just, the part of your brain that's built to react that way to stress. And by doing loads of things like mindfulness and meditation, you can instead connect more with your mastery brain, and realize that, oh yeah, that's just, that inner talk is whatever, we can ignore it, we can just keep going and stressing more and resting and whatever and keep going. It's discipline and accountability, all that comes from realizing, hey, that part of my brain, it's a bit sus, shouldn't listen to it. The amygdala, as it were. Whenever you're uncomfortable, there's an automatic sort of, oh, let me get back to comfort type of thing. Whenever you're bored, there's an automatic, oh, let me just grab some stimulation. It's that part of the brain reacting to dopamine centers, trying to get instant gratification. You shouldn't really listen to it, because it's wrong. That part of your brain will really try and convince you to do the easy, the wrong shit. And it's very hard to, not sometimes. But you need to realize that it's fucking wrong. And as one of my favourite YouTubers say, you need to do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Because that's what builds the discipline, the habit of listening to the mastery brain, as the book puts it.
Day 5, 5 a.m, give or take. I'm in a new place, but let's get it done.
The book reads, your escalation requires your isolation. Waking up early gives you time. I enjoy the peace and the quiet. It's partly why I love doing it so much. I like running in the mornings. I can do that now because I'm in a different place. Not spiritually, literally I'm somewhere different. I woke up somewhere different today, so it's safer to run here.
So 5 a.m, 5 days. Will I continue doing it? No, not exactly. But I will be waking up at 5:30 a.m. Why is that? Well, I just think those extra 30 minutes get for a little bit extra sleep than I'd usually get and allow for a bit more flexibility. So that's what I'm going for, 5:30 a.m. The premise of the book is that extra time in the morning is useful and you should take advantage of it. And for me, I still have that extra time if I wake up 30 minutes later and do it more consistently and get 8 or more hours, so I don't lose gains in the gym, which is like super important. Now the book, The 5 AM Club by Robin Sharma, I would totally recommend it. I give it an 8 out of 10. I find it very well written, but some people won't find it very well written, so keep that in mind. All in all, pretty good book. It really inspires you. Anyway, bit of a long video, but well, that's the end. Click here to see my latest video. Subscribe, and it's really important to wake up early and get things done. I know it's difficult, but you'll be really thankful if you do it. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.